Hi everyone and welcome to Book Boop. My name is Rachel and today I have a book outlet haul for you. So if you've never heard of Book Outlet before, it is an online retailer that sells overstocked books. So these brand new gorgeous books, some of them are really recent releases and they are stinking cheap and I absolutely love shopping there. If you're interested in shopping there actually and you never have before and you would like to get $10 off an order, use my email down below in the description. I am not sponsored or anything by Book Outlet, but Book Outlet, seriously, if you want to sponsor me, please do. I would love that. But if you shoot me an email down below and just kind of let me know, hey, I would like to have $10 off. If you use that coupon code, then it'll actually give me points as well, and I'll get some money off a next purchase so we can fuel each other's book buying habits. Doesn't that sound like fun? I think it sounds great. So just send me an email at boopthatbook@gmail.com, which is listed in the description below, and I can send you a reference code for Book Outlet if you're interested. But it's a fantastic place to shop. I love it. I have 9 books here to show you today, and I spent about $45 on brand new books, and I'm really excited about these. I'm going to start from middle grade and go all the way through to adult. I have mostly middle grade here, and they are gorgeous covers, so I cannot wait to show you these. I don't really know that much about each book, to be perfectly honest. I have a very basic idea of the description of these books, so I will tell you what I can. So let's go ahead and jump in, shall we? So the first book I picked up was Evangeline of the Bayou by Jan Eldredge, with illustrations by Joseph Keffler, not sure how to pronounce that, but look at this cover. It is absolutely gorgeous. The only thing I really know about this is we're following this little girl, I think she's about 12 years old or so, and she's a monster hunter, and I believe it's something that her family does. And I think the story takes place in New Orleans. I think she and her grandmother have to travel there to do a monster hunting thing. So it sounds really cool. It sounds like it's going to be really atmospheric, and I adore this cover, and I think it looks really neat, and it's got nice deckled edges as well. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun to read. Next one I got here is called The Miraculous by Jess Redman. This one, even after I read the description, I was slightly confused about what this book is about, but we're following this boy who was keeping this journal, I think that he called The Miraculous, and he believed in miracles, and he would write down things that he thought were miracles. And then something happened in his family to where he is facing loss, and he ends up getting rid of the journal or just not caring about it anymore, thinking miracles aren't real, and then he ends up going through some kind of journey that gets him through his grief and to believe in miracles again. That's all I really know about it. I think it's going to be really touching, and again, this cover is just gorgeous, and I'm really excited to read it. It's so pretty. I just love reading these in middle grades. They just make me so happy. They're fun, quick reads, and a lot of times they're just so heartwarming, and I just love them. Next one. This one sounds right up my alley because it sounds like something that's very kind of like creepy, ghosty, which is totally my thing. And that is The Bone Garden by Heather Kassner. This one I think is actually quite a recent release. And this one I'm rather vague on what the description is as well. I know the majority of the story I think takes place in a cemetery, and we're following this girl that I think has been brought back to life. And I don't really know much else other than that, but it just sounds spooky, which I love any time of year. Give me some spooky reads, especially some spooky middle grades. I love spooky middle grade stories. They're so much fun. I know they're not going to be too spooky, but I love them because there's not a lot of other stuff gumming up the works with this plot. It's usually just super creepy and super fun, and I love it. So I'm excited about this one, and another gorgeous cover. This next one I'm really excited about because it sounds like something I'm really going to relate to in a way, and it's called The Year of Shadows by Legrand. And this story, it's a ghost story, which, totally something I absolutely love. But this story takes place in a old orchestra theater, I believe. And it's this girl, and she ends up becoming friends with ghosts that are kind of trapped in this theater. And she is trying to help release their spirits or something like that. But it sounds great. It's supposed to be about sort of like this orchestra that's kind of failing, and it takes place in this old theater. It just sounds really cool because I grew up playing in orchestra and playing violin, and I just grew up in that kind of atmosphere, a lot of classical music, things like that. So it just sounds like something's going to pull me back to my childhood, which I'm really pumped about. And I think this cover is just really cool. It's almost kind of gothic looking, and we've kind of got this bad girl looking person here in the front. I really like it. I think it's going to be really, really fun. And I just, again, love me some creepy middle grades. This one, I believe, is my last middle grade here, and this one I kind of bought on a whim, and I don't really know very much about it either, and it's kind of a little off what I normally would choose, but I'm really hopeful it's going to be good. And it's called The Silver Gate by Kristin Bailey. This story is supposed to be about a superstitious people who are afraid or deal with fairies in their day-to-day lives, and with changelings. I know there's like this, yes, they have this thing with changelings, like if a child is born that has some developmental issues, they a lot of times think it's a changeling, and they want those children to be kind of left in the woods, basically to die. And this little girl was born, and she ended up having developmental issues, and instead of putting her to die in the forest, her mother didn't want to do that, and so she hid her and has been raising her. And eventually I think the villagers find out about her, and they go searching for this place called the Silver Gate, where she can go be with fairies and she'd be safe or something. I'm not sure. It sounds like really vague. I'm sorry if that was a really confusing description, but it sounds really, really cool. It sounds like it's going to deal with some very difficult topics, and it just sounds like it's going to have a nice mix of just something difficult, but then like with fairies, it's just going to be whimsical, but I think also hard-hitting as well. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. It's a little bit different than what I usually pick up, but again, gorgeous cover, and it just sounds like a really, really interesting concept. All right, let's move on to some YAs. I have a couple here, and this one I'm really excited about because, again, I feel like most of the books I picked up this time are spooky because it's just my favorite kind of read. And this one is called Remember Me by Chelsea Bobulski. I believe that's how you pronounce that. I'm not sure. So this story is about a haunted hotel. That's about all I know. This girl is living in this old hotel, and I think she finds out that a long time ago somebody was murdered there, and there's some ghosts, and she has to try to solve the mystery of this murder to release the ghosts. I don't know. That's what I kind of got from the description, more or less, but anything with something spooky and ghosty sounds great, and an old hotel sounds even more great. I love it. So I'm really excited to pick this one up in the near future. The next one, I really can't give much of a description to because it's actually a second in a series, I believe a trilogy. And that is Court of Shadows by Madeleine Roux. This is a House of Furies novel. This is the second book. The first book is just called House of Furies, which I have yet to read. I do own it. And it's supposed to be about a spooky boarding school. And that's really all I know about it, to be perfectly honest. And I don't really want to know more. I kind of want to jump in not knowing much. I probably shouldn't have bought the second book before I read the first one, just in case for some reason I don't end up liking it. But it sounds like something that's really cool, and it was such a good price on Book Outlet, and I really, really wanted to pick it up. So at least I have the first two books in the series, and I might keep my eye out on Book Outlet to see if the third book shows up, because then I can finish up the series and everything. So yeah, I'm excited to jump into the first one and then jump into this one. I think it's going to be fun. And it's a really cool cover. It's like this creepy tree, and love it. All right, now we're going to jump into some adult. Yes, who is she? I ordered some adult books. Snap. At least I think this next one's adult. I'm pretty positive it is. And I halfway picked up this book because of the cover, because it's just so pretty. And it's called The Nightjar by Deborah Hewitt. This one is about this girl who keeps seeing these birds everywhere. And she finds out that these birds are supposed to be protectors of souls. And there's some society that finds out that she's able to see these and wants to use her power for their own gain. That's about all I know. I don't know much else other than that, but I'm excited to try it out. And this cover is just gorgeous. This copy is gorgeous. It's a paperback, but it's like floppy. It's got deckled edges, and it's just, it's so lovely. And I just flung dust everywhere. But anyways, this one looks like a lot of fun, and I'm just excited to see what I think about it because I haven't heard much about it. So the very last one, this one is probably the one that I have the least amount of knowledge about because the description gives you nothing, but it sounds really cool just from the cover and the description. And it's called Other Words for Smoke by Sarah Maria Griffin. And this one, I literally know nothing about. First of all, the cover is really cool. It's got like this little house that looks like it's made out of a book and out of paper, and like these trees are made of paper. I don't know. It's really cool looking. It's got a really, really brief description, so I'm just going to read it to you so you can just kind of get an idea of what on earth you'd be jumping into. It says, in the house at the end of the lane, there is a darkness hiding in the walls, waiting, watching, consuming. It will devour everything you have, everything you are willing to give and everything you are not. Watch yourself. If you aren't careful, it will all come tumbling down. So that sounds really creepy. Sounds like maybe a house that maybe can grant your greatest desires and also appear your greatest fears. I don't know. It sounds spooky, and I am for it. I am so for it. So I think I'm most excited about this one because I don't know much about it, and it just sounds spooky and delightful. So I'm all about that. That is my book outlet haul. My goodness, you guys, I love shopping from there, and I didn't need to buy all these books right now because I can barely cram them into my TBR cart, but I'm focusing on trying to read some more books that I actually own. So hopefully in the near future I can start getting to some of these, and I can't wait to review them and to let you all know what I thought about them. On this side of the video over here is my logo. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel, follow me on my book journey, and again, down below you can click on my email, so shoot me an email real quick and let me know if you want that reference code for Book Outlet, and I can send you $10 off. Again, not sponsored. On this side over here is a suggestion for another video if you want another one right now. But thank you so much for watching. You rock, and don't forget to keep reading if I can talk. Bye.